Hey, what's up, my fellow YouTubers? PC Gaming Dude here, and just recently we had a viewer by the name of Bill KSC, so shout out to you if you're watching. He suggested to me that I try running an AI local on my gaming PC. So today we're going to figure out if my GPU can truly handle it. So we'll go ahead and start things off by pulling up my GPU. That way you guys can see all the goods. For some reason, when I had this thing try and pull up, it would immediately quit as soon as I try to, like put it away. But anyway, what we got here, we got a 1050 Ti. So it's not exactly the greatest, like, GPU of all time, but it does something. Alright, we'll put it that it does something. So here's all the good information if you guys ever wanted to like read it out. So you could pause this video, give it a quick second, and you could just read it out from here. So we have the GPU setting, we have the CPU. This is running on an Intel Core i5-8500. And once again, like I said, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it does a good job at certain types of gaming. So, like, for example, play a little bit of Forza Horizon 4 on here. I obviously play Minecraft, Roblox, that sort of thing. And then, I didn't know this was too relevant, but this is Task Manager. This is just everything I run, like how much CPU, how much memory, disk, network, that sort of thing. So, just if you guys ever wanted to know all that. Now, to put into better understanding of what I'm basically working with, obviously I got the GeForce 1050 Ti, so this is the dedicated GPU memory. This is basically the biggest thing to determine if local AI will actually work on this thing. I'm kind of a little bit skeptical, because we're looking at only about 4 gigabytes of dedicated VRAM, and that's the biggest thing for local AI, so I'm kind of a little skeptical on it. Obviously, the CPU is the i5-8500, and if we go into memory right here, you can tell it's a 8 gigabyte and a DDR4. So once again, a little skeptical, but you also be optimistic as well. And going on Task Manager, Disk 0 here. This is basically what we're working with in terms of storage. We got the PNY CS900. This is a 240 gigabyte SSD, but it's not the world's biggest, thing to determine if local AI will work. So basically, with all that said, let's see what the GPU can truly handle. Alrighty, so for this experiment, we're going to be running something called Llama. Now, this is very good for running local language models like what we're about to do here today, but if you want to try this out for yourself, you can use this program. You can also use LM Studio, which is for easy GUI. So, like, if you want to test out some models, this is what you'd be using. And or you can use Stable Diffusion or Comfy UI, which is very good for, like, AI image generation. So with that in mind, I already got the setup ready to go, but I should aforemention that Llama can be used on Mac OS and Linux as well. So you really just don't need Windows. You only need just Windows. You can run all those 2 other softwares there. So with that in mind, let me go ahead and go open this up, and we're about to get down to some business. Alright, so here we are. We also got the cute little watermark down there. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go begin installing. And there's another one. Let's get rid of that. So currently right now it's extracting all the files. It's extracting all of the goodies here. So, like I said, this will basically take about a couple minutes or so. No too rush or anything. And with that in mind, I will come back once this is fully done. Alright guys, so as you can see, Llama has successfully installed on the computer over here. And we have like several different commands that we can go do. So we obviously have the new chat, we have the launch, we also got settings. So for the launch, we can copy a command, run it into any terminal that we're using. So, like for example, I mostly use ChatGPT, but you can also do it with Claude Code, Hermes Agent, OpenCode, which is another very common one. Codex is very common as well. Copilot, CLI, Droid, and PI as well. So you basically got a whole lot of operations if you just don't want to do straight up Llama. But with that, let's go ahead and go give this little guy a message over here. And I like it that he blinks as well. So, what should we ask him? Let's make it generate an image. Let's do random guy screaming out of middle of nowhere. In front of, let's do some little diabolical. What do we think? In front of the world of Coca-Cola. So remember, only diabolical operations we're going to try commanding right here. So if we could do that, we will be able to be all nice and good here. Alrighty, so I guess that was a silly me over here. I had to create an account before Llama could really do anything. So, with that in mind, I did, while I was off camera, decide to test out some of these models right here. The Quinn 3.6 and the Gamma 412B take forever. Alright, it's not a cloud. Alright, so the Namotron 3 Super Cloud and the Mimamax M3 Cloud are the two clouds I'm actually able to use. These two require a subscription, and quite frankly, I'm not paying $20 a month for, something similar to ChatGPT. I just don't think it's worth it. Anyway, let's go ahead and go play around with the Namotron 3, and let's go give it our prompt earlier. Image of guy randomly screaming in front of the world of Coca-Cola. Don't ask me why I thought about this. Thought for 3.4 seconds. I cannot provide or generate images of real people, especially in specific public moments like this, due to privacy, consent, and ethical guidelines. Man, why can't it just be real for a moment? Recall a viral moment from 2022 about loudly expressing frustration, screaming or yelling about the Coca-Cola syrup outside of the world of Coke. Alright, so we'll go try out Mimamax and do that same thing. So we'll go ahead and go give this a little copy. I guess we'll try it in front of this one here. Alright, so this is Mimamax, and I guess it gave off a little bit more, a little bit more of a simpler answer. So, obviously we can't really do that. And, as I mentioned earlier, this is not exactly for AI imaging. I just like to test around with it for fun. Now, anyways, if we want to be a little bit more of a normal person, we'll just say hello. How can I help you? And then recipe for Guinness beer brats. And then I'll just give you this. Just bratwurst, onions, garlic, that sort of thing. Gives you instructions, bonus flavors. And the good news is, you are pretty much on this same cloud for however long. You don't have to worry about, how ChatGPT, you have to have this certain amount of prompts before it tells you, hey, you're going to be demoted to another model. You don't have to really worry about this one. Let me try asking the same question, except in Gamma. I'll show you how slow it is. So in other words, the GPU can't really handle it there. Download model, 4%, 5%. So this is really just a model here. Now for demonstration purposes, I will keep this downloading. However, we'll figure out what it says on this very particular model. I'll be back in a moment once this is fully done downloading. Alrighty, so in the meantime over here, I've been monitoring the GPU maximum output. So for right now, it's only going about between 9 to, at the highest I've recorded was around 30%. Unfortunately, I had a video here kind of cut out first time around when I was recording it. And that's because I had Call of Duty occupying one of my C drives, so I had to get rid of Call of Duty since I don't ever play it anymore. But that's just a point of note over here. And right now the model's at 43%. So like I said, once it gets done there, like I said, I'll come back. Alright, we're at 100%. Let's see what this currently goes up to right now. So it only downloaded like 6.9 gigabytes, which I mean honestly is not, like I said, terrible over here. So, like I said, just wait for the rest of this to just pop up. And we'll go from here. Nothing. I think it's still working here at the moment. I can tell because the play button is still running. Whew. It definitely lags out the server here. Let's have a look at that task explorer down below here. Wow, this thing is powerful. And it maxes the GPU memory. And the line is kind of going thinner and thinner as I speak there. So, basically, Jenna 412B doesn't exactly allow for a llama to run on this particular setup. So yeah, as you can tell, there's an internal server error. The system detected overrun of a stack-based buffer. So that overrun can allow a malicious user to gain control. So it's for security concerns, and well, obviously I don't think we want anything controlling our computer, do we? So yeah, obviously these two don't work very well. These two clouds 100% work. As you can tell, I was able to go in Nanotron and search up for that recipe for Guinness beer brats. So, like I said, it's got its limitations. So, we're going to ask ourselves this question. Was it fast only on certain things? Did it use all the VRAM? Well, yeah, very obviously on the Gemma 412B. So, is local AI worth it? It really depends. I mean, so like, if you don't want to occupy more space on your computer, I wouldn't recommend it. If you have a lower system, like if you have a lower PC setup, like kind of what I do, then it's not really worth it. And absolutely, whoever wants to give it a try, feel free. Anybody can try this out realistically. And for that fact of matter, if you have a higher setup, like if you have 12 things of video RAM, for example, you can absolutely do this, no problem. But like I said, if you're in my shoes, then I would not recommend trying it. But this is a very fun kind of like experiment, and I love doing this for you guys here. So, and with that will conclude today's video over here. If you don't mind, go ahead and go give me a shout out in the comments down below. Give me some further ideas. That way I can experiment with it and present it to you all here on YouTube. And with that, like I said, this video was inspired by Bill KSC for And yeah, thank you for that. I will give you a shout out there 100% about the self-hosted AI products. Keep those suggestions coming. Honestly, I love the community. Help you guys out a little bit. And with that in mind, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.